a family.
People are willing to get a dumpster and do it themselves and clean it out.
And they can.
There's not that much left. It's all incinerated.
That's right.
As the wildfires continue to devastate Los Angeles, the response from celebrities has been heartfelt and poignant, reflecting both their personal losses and their deep appreciation for the bravery of first responders. Among the thousands of residents forced to evacuate, several prominent figures have shared their stories of evacuation, grief, and resilience, providing a glimpse into the emotional toll the fires have taken on the community, regardless of social status. One of the most visible responses came from actor Josh Gad, known for his role as Olaf in Frozen. Taking to social media, Gad shared his emotional reaction to the fires, expressing disbelief at the scale of the destruction. Having lived in Los Angeles for over 2 decades, Gad noted that he had never witnessed anything of this magnitude before. His words resonated with many, as he reflected on how the fires had affected not only his friends and neighbors, but the entire city. Gad used his platform to acknowledge the selfless work of firefighters and emergency responders, highlighting their tireless efforts to battle the flames and protect those at risk. His emotional plea for his followers to remember the importance of community support and compassion in times of crisis became a powerful reminder of the human side of disaster. Similarly, actor Rob McElhenney, best known for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, shared his own update on social media, offering relief that his family had escaped the fires unscathed. While expressing gratitude for his family's safety, McElhenney also reflected on the devastation affecting entire neighborhoods. His post was a mix of gratitude and heartbreak, as he honored the bravery of first responders who were working around the clock to protect the vulnerable. In his message, McElhenney spoke about the overwhelming loss many people were experiencing, offering words of solidarity and appreciation for those who had come together to help. Music legend Diane Warren also shared her personal loss with her followers. The iconic songwriter's beach house, which had been a retreat for nearly 3 decades, was consumed by the fires. On Instagram, Warren posted a picture of Leah's Rock, a cherished spot by the beach that had long symbolized peace and solace for her. Despite the tragedy of losing her home, Warren found solace in knowing that the animals at her nearby rescue ranch were safe. In her post, she expressed hope and resilience, drawing strength from the symbolism of a rainbow she had seen over the site of her home in the wake of the fire. Her message was one of emotional strength, underscoring the importance of perseverance in the face of loss. Jennifer Grey, known for her role in Dirty Dancing, also experienced the loss of her home in the wildfires. Her daughter, Stella Gregg, shared the heartbreaking news on Instagram, noting that while her mother's home was destroyed, she and her dog were safe. In the midst of the loss, Gregg urged her followers to cherish their loved ones and reflect on the fragility of life. Grey's response reflected both personal grief and gratitude, as she found comfort in the safety of those she loved, even as her home was reduced to ashes. For some, the fires have also brought unexpected moments of lightheartedness amid the chaos. Chrissy Teigen, the model and social media personality, documented her evacuation experience with humor, blending genuine fear with her signature wit. Fleeing her home with her husband, John Legend, and their children, Teigen shared her emotional journey on social media, providing fans with a behind-the-scenes look at the chaos of evacuation. Her posts, which included a selfie and a humorous caption about their packed car, helped humanize the situation, making it easier for her followers to connect with the stress and uncertainty of the moment. The post quickly went viral, as fans admired her ability to cope with such a difficult situation with humor and grace. Across social media, celebrities who have lost their homes have been joined by their fans in offering support to one another. These public figures, often seen as living in an entirely different world, have shared their vulnerability and emotional resilience, fostering a sense of solidarity among all those affected by the disaster. While the scale of the devastation is immense, the responses from these celebrities demonstrate how important it is to come together during times of crisis, whether through messages of support, acts of kindness, or public acknowledgement of the heroic efforts of first responders. Ultimately, the celebrity responses to the fires in Los Angeles serve as a reminder of the universality of loss and the strength of community. Despite their fame and fortune, these individuals have been touched by the same forces of nature that affect thousands of others. In sharing their stories, they have not only highlighted the magnitude of the crisis, but also shown the power of resilience, compassion, and the shared human experience in times of tragedy. The wildfires have disrupted lives across the region, but the outpouring of support and solidarity from both celebrities and their fans offers a glimmer of hope amid the destruction. The scope of the recent wildfires that have ravaged Los Angeles County is nothing short of catastrophic. What began as a series of smaller fires quickly escalated into a sprawling disaster, spreading across 31,000 acres of land. The fires are being called some of the worst in the region's history, both in terms of the area burned and the widespread destruction they caused. The fires have not only affected remote forested areas but also moved dangerously close to densely populated neighborhoods, threatening the homes and lives of thousands of people. As of now, over 18,000 residents have been forced to evacuate their homes, with many having to leave behind everything in the face of an advancing inferno. The flames, driven by the unpredictable nature of the wind and the dry conditions, show no mercy, leaving entire communities in their wake. Firefighters, emergency responders, and volunteers have worked around the clock to try to contain the fires, but the sheer scale of the destruction is overwhelming. Local fire chief David Acuna has estimated that up to 10,000 structures have likely been lost, including private homes, businesses, and critical infrastructure. The fires have struck in some of the most affluent and scenic areas of Los Angeles, including neighborhoods like the Palisades, Eaton and Kenneth Hurst, which are known for their luxury homes and stunning landscapes. Celebrities and other high-profile residents have found themselves facing the same challenges as everyday citizens, as the flames spread quickly and unpredictably, with little regard for wealth or status. Many of these residents, accustomed to a life of luxury and security, have been forced to evacuate their homes at a moment's notice, leaving behind irreplaceable possessions and memories. The wildfires have also posed a threat to historic landmarks, many of which are at risk of being lost to the flames. Devastation extends beyond just buildings and structures. Natural landscapes and wildlife are suffering as well. Acres of forests, parks, and wildlife habitats have been destroyed, leaving behind scorched earth where lush greenery once thrived. The environmental toll is immense, and experts warn of the long-term ecological consequences of such widespread destruction. In addition to the immediate threat to life and property, the wildfires have sparked a conversation about climate change and its role in fueling the intensity of such disasters. Experts point to the increased frequency of wildfires in recent years, as well as the growing unpredictability of fire seasons, as evidence of the changing climate. The fires in Los Angeles are a stark reminder of the pressing need for stronger measures to combat climate change, improve wildfire prevention strategies, and prepare for the increasing severity of natural disasters. As the fires continue to rage on, communities are left to grapple with the aftermath. Recovery will be a long and difficult process, requiring not only the rebuilding of homes and infrastructure, but also the healing of emotional wounds. The stories of loss, resilience, and the tireless efforts of first responders will continue to unfold as the region comes to terms with the full extent of the devastation. In the face of such adversity, Los Angeles is witnessing the strength of its residents and the courage of its people as they band together to recover from one of the most destructive wildfire seasons in memory. As the wildfires rage through Los Angeles, actor Josh Gad, known for his iconic voice role as Olaf in Frozen, took to Instagram to share a heartfelt plea with his followers. Living in the city for over 20 years, Gad expressed shock and disbelief at the unprecedented devastation that had struck his beloved home. In his post, he openly admitted that he had never seen anything like the current destruction, despite having lived through numerous disasters in the region. His words struck a chord with many who had been similarly affected by the fires, offering a raw, emotional glimpse into the overwhelming scale of the tragedy. Gad's message was not just about the physical destruction but also about the emotional toll it took on those who had witnessed their homes and neighborhoods consumed by the flames. In his post, he mentioned how many of his friends had lost their homes, and his concern for the displaced families echoed throughout the heartfelt message. The actor's compassion was evident as he shared his heartbreak for those affected, reinforcing the importance of remembering the human aspect of such natural disasters. What stood out most in Gad's message was his deep appreciation for the firefighters and emergency responders who risked their lives to battle the fires. "So many firefighters are putting their lives on the line right now," Gad wrote, acknowledging their heroic efforts. His gratitude was not just a casual mention but a powerful statement, recognizing the relentless bravery of those who worked tirelessly to contain the flames. Gad's words celebrated the courage of first responders, whose efforts were nothing short of heroic, working under extreme conditions and often facing new fires that seemed to appear as quickly as others were contained. The unpredictability of the fires, Gad pointed out, created a situation where every victory against one fire seemed to be followed by the sudden threat of another, making the work of the emergency services even more difficult. His post became more than just an emotional expression of his own personal grief. It became a rallying cry for community solidarity. Gad's words encouraged his followers to take a moment to reflect on the importance of coming together in the face of disaster. "We need to stay strong and support each other," he wrote, urging his audience to remember that in times of crisis, compassion and connection are paramount. The actor's plea served as a reminder of how communities, regardless of their circumstances, can unite in adversity. As his message spread across social media, fans and followers responded with an outpouring of support. Many shared their own experiences of the fires, acknowledging the widespread devastation but also expressing gratitude for the safety of their families and loved ones. Gad's heartfelt plea was met with messages of hope, with people commiserating over the tragedy while also emphasizing the resilience of the human spirit. The impact of Gad's words extended beyond his personal circle of friends and followers. It resonated deeply with those directly affected by the fires, offering a sense of solidarity. His emotional vulnerability and genuine concern for the welfare of others showed a side of the actor that many may not have been familiar with, someone who not only lights up the screen with his comedic roles but also has a deep sense of empathy and responsibility when it comes to real-life tragedies. Gad's ability to use his platform for good, to honor first responders and raise awareness about the scale of the crisis, added an important voice to the chorus of those speaking out during this devastating time. Through his heartfelt plea, Josh Gad did more than just acknowledge the devastation caused by the wildfires. He highlighted the strength of the human spirit and the vital importance of community during times of crisis. His message of compassion, gratitude, and unity was a much-needed reminder that, even amid loss and destruction, people can find solace in one another, and together they can begin to rebuild. When the wildfires swept through Los Angeles, actor Rob McElhenney, known for his role in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, found himself caught between deep emotions of relief and profound sadness. On social media, McElhenney shared an emotional update, expressing his gratitude that his family was safe, but also acknowledging the heartbreak of witnessing entire neighborhoods reduced to ash. His words offered a rare glimpse into the emotional complexity of dealing with such a catastrophic event, highlighting the intense internal struggle that many faced during the fires. In his post, McElhenney reflected on how he had never experienced such devastation, despite having lived through numerous challenges in his life. As he watched the fires burn and the smoke cloud the sky, he realized just how fragile everything could be. His message resonated not only with those who had lost homes in the fires but also with others who could relate to the emotional toll of seeing a community in turmoil. McElhenney's expression of sorrow for those who had been affected underscored the emotional weight of the crisis and the sense of helplessness that often accompanies natural disasters. While McElhenney's family was fortunate enough to escape unharmed, his post conveyed the painful reality of watching a disaster unfold on such a massive scale. He spoke about the immense destruction, describing how entire neighborhoods, once filled with life and memories, were now nothing more than empty spaces marked by the remnants of what had once been homes. His words highlighted the eerie feeling of watching a beloved community, often associated with security and peace, turn into a disaster zone in a matter of hours. Yet amidst this overwhelming sorrow, McElhenney also made sure to express his gratitude. He paid tribute to the firefighters and first responders who worked relentlessly to protect the lives and properties of others. McElhenney praised their bravery and unwavering dedication, acknowledging that without their tireless efforts, the devastation could have been far worse. He described the heroism of those on the front lines, emphasizing that while many of them were risking their lives in a battle against an unpredictable and fierce enemy, they remained determined and focused on saving as many lives as possible. McElhenney's post was not only a reflection of his own grief, but also a recognition of the strength and resilience of those who stood in the face of the firestorm. His words inspired a sense of solidarity and unity, reminding his followers that in times of crisis, it is the collective efforts of individuals that can make a difference. Fans and friends of McElhenney flooded his post with messages of appreciation for his open expression of mixed emotions, with many echoing his gratitude for the work of the emergency personnel and expressing support for those affected by the fires. However, McElhenney's emotions weren't just about the external devastation. He also spoke about the emotional toll it had taken on him and his family. As someone who has built a career on making people laugh, McElhenney's vulnerability in this moment offered a contrast to his usual comedic persona. It was clear that, while he had been able to maintain his composure and find a sense of gratitude for the safety of his loved ones, the weight of the tragedy still hung heavily on him. In the end, McElhenney's message was one of balance. he acknowledged the relief of knowing that his family was safe while simultaneously honoring the grief of those who had lost everything. His words, full of empathy and appreciation, highlighted the complexity of emotions that arise during times of disaster. The fires in Los Angeles not only left physical scars on the landscape but also emotional ones, as the impact rippled through the lives of everyone affected. McElhenney's response served as a reminder that, even in the darkest of times, there is room for gratitude, compassion, and community. His words captured the essence of human resilience: how, despite overwhelming loss, people find ways to persevere and stand together. The devastation caused by the wildfires in Los Angeles has left many residents grappling with heartbreaking losses, and legendary songwriter Diane Warren was no exception. Known for creating some of the most iconic ballads in music history, Warren shared with her followers the tragic news that her beach house, a sanctuary she had cherished for nearly 30 years, had been completely destroyed in the fires. For Warren, the loss of this home represented not just a physical space, but also the loss of decades of memories, peace, and solace that the beach house had provided her. In an emotional post on Instagram, Warren shared a poignant image of Leah's Rock, a beloved spot near her beach house that had become a symbol of tranquility and inspiration for her over the years. The photo, which showed the rock with a rainbow shining brightly above it, was the last picture she took before the fires ravaged the area. Despite the tragic loss of her home, Warren expressed a deep sense of hope, seeing the rainbow as a symbol for all those affected by the fires. Her words resonated with many, as she found a glimmer of hope in the aftermath of such overwhelming destruction. Despite the immense sadness of losing her home, Warren's post also reflected her resilience and unwavering commitment to the community that had supported her throughout the years. She shared the comforting news that the animals at her nearby rescue ranch were safe, offering a sense of relief amid the chaos. The ranch, which had always been a source of joy and fulfillment for Warren, stood as a testament to her dedication to both the environment and the creatures she had worked so hard to protect. The fact that the animals were unharmed provided Warren with some peace during a time when so much was lost. Warren's message was a beautiful reminder of the strength and grace that can emerge even in the face of tragedy. While the destruction of her home was undoubtedly painful, Warren's ability to maintain hope and compassion for others showcased the resilience of the human spirit. Her gratitude for the safety of the animals and her ability to see beauty in the midst of devastation made her an inspiring figure to her fans, many of whom flooded her post with words of support and admiration. It was clear that, even amid her grief, Warren understood the importance of looking toward the future with optimism. As a songwriter, Warren had long been able to capture the emotions of others through her music, but in this moment she shared her personal vulnerability and humanity with the world. Her message wasn't just about the loss of a house, it was about the strength to move forward, rebuild, and find hope even after something so significant was taken away. The way Warren approached this tragedy reflected the same resilience that had made her a beloved figure in the music industry. In the weeks and months that followed, Warren continued to focus on rebuilding not just her physical surroundings, but also the sense of community that had been disrupted by the fires. She remained a pillar of strength for those who had lost their homes and a source of inspiration for those who needed a reminder of the power of hope. Her message to her followers was clear: while the fire may have consumed the house, it could not take away the memories, the love, or the spirit of resilience that remained. Through her own grief and loss, Diane Warren showed that resilience doesn't always mean moving on quickly or forgetting the past. Sometimes it means finding the strength to continue forward while carrying the memories and the love that come with the places we hold dear. Her response to the tragedy was a testament to the power of optimism and community, showing that even in the darkest times there is always room for hope. As the wildfires ravaged Los Angeles, many families faced irreplaceable losses, but for celebrities these losses held a unique weight. Not only were they losing homes filled with cherished memories, but they were also witnessing the destruction of their personal legacies, properties that represented years of hard work, family history, and deep emotional connections. The loss was felt not only in the homes themselves but in the stories, experiences, and milestones that had unfolded within their walls. For many, these homes were much more than just places to live. They were symbols of their careers, their successes, and their journeys through life. They were sites where families gathered for holidays, where significant moments were celebrated, and where artists like Diane Warren and Jeff Bridges found inspiration. These spaces were irreplaceable because they held the essence of their owners' lives, with memories woven into every corner. When Diane Warren's beach house was destroyed, it wasn't just the physical structure that was lost. It was nearly 3 decades of personal significance and artistic refuge where she found peace and connected with the natural world. Similarly, Jeff Bridges' Malibu home was more than just a luxurious property. It was a family retreat, a place that held memories shared with loved ones for generations. For these celebrities, the loss of their homes marked the destruction of something far greater than material possessions. It was the loss of places where their histories had unfolded and where their legacies had taken shape. In these moments of crisis, the notion of legacy becomes complicated. The loss of a home can signify the destruction of a family's shared history and the removal of a sanctuary where important life events were witnessed. For these celebrities, while the fire may have burned their physical homes, it could never erase the impact these spaces had on their lives or the public's perception of their journeys. This undeniable loss serves as a reminder of the fleeting nature of life and the need to cherish what we have before it is gone.